Setup. Let's go to setup. Yeah, it's Firefox, right? So basically we are registering here, registering with the first set of data, and without submitting, it's submitted. Okay, so it's submitted and come back and we, okay, so I have enabled that submission part. Okay, anyway, idea is to go to the last page to create sign off.
Later, very
You
good.
can also use this text.
Later, I'll be so judged.
Okay. So once everything is done, we'll sign off, which is the end of the test case. So what I'm going to do is go to
मैं
sign
कान
off.
टूट जाएगा.
Sorry, what is that, Prachi?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, okay. You are talking to your son. Okay. So let
Are
me.
you hearing it or what? I put it on mute and I was talking. You able to hear it?
Yeah, yeah. That's okay.
Oh God. He's troubling me.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply identify this object. Sign off. So sign off is this thing, right? It's a href. Href means it's a link, hyperlink. So what I'll do is I'll simply copy the XPath. That's the best way to do it. So however, XPath is not here. XPath is only for the that comes with Firebug. So what I can do is, let me select. Go to sign off. Yeah, that's not the one. This is the one. Okay, so for now to enable this copy XPath feature, I have to reload this page. So what I'll do is I'll simply go cut this off. Open manually. So that the this extension is enabled, so I'll manually reload. Okay, so simply I will sign in and sign out. Okay, the sign off button is enabled, so it doesn't matter if you're signing off in this page or the last page, it's the same sign off. So simply I will, okay, this is the problem. Application type by JavaScript. Firebug is deactivated, so I have to reactivate. Okay, so all I have to do is right click and copy the XPath. Now it's enabled, copy XPath feature, and go back here. Okay, so what I have to do here, I'll simply create instance of setup, because I want, why we are doing this setup instead of creating a driver here, web driver instance. So this is because we want to share a single instance of this web driver, not the multiple, so that otherwise it will open multiple browsers, right? So just to recapitulate that one, so using s, what I will do is I will use s.get driver. So I will store this in web element. Oh no, hold on. Okay, so my mistake. You have to create instance of web driver and assign this to, okay. So this is a local instance of driver. Okay, s dot. So in which we have already created get driver. So basically this will return the driver, and we are storing this driver in our local driver. So that's a single instance again. Okay, so to use web driver, import web driver. Driver dot find element by XPath. So the whole expression, I'm pasting it here. So simply the method is dot click, right? Okay, so we will call this at the end of everything. So in the test case one, this will be called here. Okay, so what I'll do is, first we will fix this modularized framework, then we'll go back. Like I said, I have created another project for modularized data driven framework, right? Let me correct this, rename it data driven. So what I did is I modified a little bit. I just removed other in this other projects, so only the demo UAT related packages are there, right? So here let us make it a little bit different. So what I'm trying to do here is, first you are trying to go to test case one. Let me close others. So So here you are calling register, right? Registration dot register. Go to register. Here this is still, it's the same thing. Hard coded values are passed. So instead of passing hard coded values, how to parameterize this in this register? So let me just go here. Instead of passing this, what I'll try to do is I'll pass the arguments, string arguments, first name, string phone number, string username, address one. So this is not data driven approach. Say still we are going with the modularized approach only, non data driven. So after this we will go back to that. Address one. So then city, state, now where is the email ID? I'm not able to see. Let's go to sign off, register. Okay, phone number, email ID is missed. That's what I'm saying. Phone number. Okay, this is basically email ID, right? Yeah. So this is supposed to be. So that is because the differences in the developer given properties. So email goes here, and then here username followed by string password. So one time password is enough. We will pass it repeatedly in re-entering. So here simply we will pass these. sometimes you need to encrypt the password before entering, so you can do that later. Finally password. Okay, so the idea is to why we are doing this, because if we want to just fetch the table values, I mean Excel values, instead of fetching the Excel values and putting here, what I'm trying to do is I want to, when I call this in the test case, I want to directly fetch the Excel values and put it over here when I call this. So that's the basic idea. So however, we will do the both approaches. So where I'm calling this test case 1 calls to the registration, where is the test case 1? Okay, so here r dot register, so this is giving error because it needs to be paused, the arguments needs to be paused. So I'll simply enter. Okay, this is one way. If I can enter Sangam directly over here, or I can create variables before. So I'll show you. This is, we are going step by step. So if you understand this flow correctly, we will directly reach the final framework. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm creating a test data section here. So I'll create some string variables for these, whatever I mentioned over here. See here. So come to test case registration, test case 1. Okay, so create them separately so that you can assign some values here. So this way, when you enter when you call this get cell, you don't like, it won't become cumbersome here, right here, when you're passing these values here. So this will stay clean. You are still there, right? Are you listening, Prachi? Hello? Hello? Okay, so okay, that's okay. If you are listening, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you are still there. Otherwise, disconnected, then let me know. Okay, so basically we are going toward. No, I can't hear you. That's why.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just
Okay.
I just want you to follow what I'm doing so that we are
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
answer the right question. So what we are doing, what we are trying to do here is, in the registration earlier,
Hmm.
we have passed the values directly from the cell. That become cumbersome. So
Hmm.
instead, what I'm doing is I am trying to create variable here and passing over here. So when I come here, I can pass, I call this as a pass directly here. So instead of passing directly here, I am creating variables for these, and when I can fetch these values right here from the Excel spreadsheet and pass it over here. That is the main goal what I'm doing. So string first name. So right now here, instead of fetching from data table, I am just passing the static values. We will move slowly, don't worry. So this is the first name. So let's call this Sangam A. Let me paste it, then class for this display data. So I'm going step by step so that I don't jump if I don't understand. So all right. So simply change this. This is okay. Then 111. Okay. Email is, let's see, birthday.com address.
Oh,
So this is the exact value that I am typing. That is actually in the drop down. So Sangami, okay. So everything else is fine. So here, what I am trying to do is I am passing these. Okay, so since I have already copied, I can copy it from registration. So what I'm going to do is I'll just copy this. All right, and paste it over here. Only thing is I have to take off the approach. Okay. So just make sure the number of arguments and sequence of arguments matches. So it's exactly matching, at least number of arguments. So we are good. So you know now what's going on, right? So in the registration, these values, when you call the registration, in the test case I will tell you the other way. So when you call this registration, it will call the register function and looks for these values, right? So so it needs to exact values needs to be passed. It will pass right from here and it goes here. Those values will be passed over here, over here, right? And these values will be internally passed over here. Then finally when you enter the starting, these values will be entered there. So that is that's how the whole hierarchy works. So this is fine. Let's go to registration. Let's see the flow now. Okay, so the flow is currently when you call to registry, you come here and click on submit. So the intention is to go straight forward, register, login and purchase. All right, so you submit it here. So when you after you submit it, what you have to do after registration, you have to go to home page. So let's go to home page. Is it in the correct flow or not? Let us check. So here in the home page I am trying to again launch the URL, so that's not good, right? So once you submit, where you go here, right? Thank you for registering. You may now log in. You may now sign in using username and password. So what you have to do now here, you have to click on this sign in button, correct? Then you end up here. So we have to capture that page, this one. So basically this is a sign in page after registration. So we have to create another page for sign in. Only if you are starting from registration. Otherwise, if you want to directly start from login in the initially when you launch this page, right? If you remove this launch this page, directly you will end up in the sign in page. So that's a different flow altogether. So that you have to remember that one. So if you want to cover that flow in the test case too, you can do that little bit differently. So you have to bifurcate again that. So for that, what you have to do, registration, this part, the launching part goes into separate, what you call separate function, separate class. So we will do that later. Validation, okay, sign in page. Okay, so same thing, setup. Okay, so what is missing here? Why it is not showing find element? Because you have to import this get driver, right? So let's import that. Import this setup, sorry. Sign page. Oh, it's already imported. Okay, something is missing. Okay, dot by. Let's copy everything. Ah, so what we are missing here? We are trying to create everything in the sign in class, right? So we have to create function. Okay, so let's do the driver dot find element. Okay, let's see how we can capture, hopefully by XPath. So since it's a href, you can use the normal also, because it's a is the class here. So and href is a property name, property value you can use. However, I suggest go for XPath. All right. Okay, so where we are going to call this? After? Hello?
After registration.
After registration, right? Okay, I just want to make sure you're okay. After registration, sign in. So this is just for clicking sign in. So once sign in is over, you go to home page. Home page should not have that this line. Which line? This line. So I'm going to comment it. Okay, so directly come here and clear and log in. So that's perfect. Okay, so I think it's perfectly done. Let's go to test case 1 again. Okay. Okay, so let me run this for this. This is not the data driven. It will run for the single test case, single test data.
Sangha, one question I wanted to ask. When I was doing the data-driven testing, it wasn't taking that XLS X format. It only takes XLS file.
No, that's correct. Because
Yeah.
this thing we are using, right, the sheet class and get workbook class
Mhm.
and get sheet method, those are only currently working for XLS format.
Yeah.
If we want to use XLSX, I will tell you later. For that we need to actually go to Apache get POI package, Apache POI package, and we have to
Okay.
go little bit different. So that's next. This we will do this for XLS. We will go about that. So that was
Okay. Okay.
pretty much CSV also. CSV files, XLSX, XLS, all Microsoft documents. Basically, if you download Apache POI, that particular package is able to read, write, capture all these values from all kinds of Microsoft Office documents for Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Access, everything. So that's a little bit advanced. We'll go to that later.
And now you have showed me this modular approach. Now I want to start by myself to at least means to begin it. So what should I do for this?
Begin it in the sense you want to create your own separate site and do the same thing, right?
Maybe on this also, but from where should I start?
Okay, in this also you can go to hotels. Here there is a hotels, right? Okay. The section is currently, oh, okay. This is under construction. Cruises, I'm not sure. Okay, this is a static page, cruises. So it's better to go to different because we have already covered in this, right? I have already covered. If you want to do the same thing on your own, you can do it, no problem. Without looking at my code, just do it from the beginning. But I would suggest do it later once we finish the data driven everything. So directly in the data driven, you do it on your own without looking at the existing code. So that way it will give you enough confidence so that you can start on your own. So that's good. However, why we are sticking to this side, because this is mostly compatible, and we won't stick to this. We will go to other sides also. So once we finish at least data driven, so this one is little bit different. This is still modularized framework only. That's why I told you I created another project called DemoIT modularized data driven framework. So I am sticking to data driven only in this project. So this is not data driven. So whatever is basics we are learning in this one, this framework. And once we go into this is totally data driven. So we won't come back once we go to this. So here what I did was, test case 1, I created a test data in here, right? Test data in here, and calling all these functions and passing the parameters. So wherever parameters needs to be passed, you can pass. We haven't passed for every function, so we have only done that for this find flighter and home page. Yes, home page, username, password. Library we are not using, so that's out of question. Purchase ticket we are not passing, so we can pass. So basically when you do this, you can just pass all arguments properly so that it looks consistent throughout. Okay, so now one more step in this only. So basically I don't want to create data in each and every test case. I want to create a single class for test data and fetch it from there. Remember, this is still not data driven. Okay, so we will apply this with data driven only once we learn this, right? So for that, what I can do, I can create another package called demoat.data. So this will be dedicated for data only, so that whenever you need to create data, any sort of data, find flight data, flight finder data, home page data, blah blah blah, purchase ticket data, all data will go here. So that is the main intention. So instead of here, I'll put everything over there. So simply create another class. Okay, so this time I will just call this data, so that it will be generalized. However, inside data class, what I'll do is I can create different functions for different type of data. For flight data, different function. For login data, different function. So you are understanding, right? Here, public void. So first of all, let's start with registration data. So because that is the first page we are going to call, right? Registration data goes first here. Okay. Here, Prachi, are you still there? I think we can disconnect this one. This is going to multiple infinite loop, right? Let me disconnect over here. Why don't we disconnect and connect it again? Because it's going into infinite loop. Probably that's causing the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's clear, right? Okay. So if you're following, that's fine. If you're not following, let me know. So what I'm trying to do is I'm creating another class for the data. Realistically, this is good. So my idea is to put every type of data in here and fetch the data from here. Okay. So going forward, if you are moving to data driven, this is okay. But what we are going to do is fetch the Excel data fetch the data from Excel and dump it to here. So that will be less cumbersome, and this data will go to all this will be distributed to wherever it is required in these pages, and that will in turn will go to the test case one. So that's how, if you follow that kind of like hierarchy, it will be better going forward. If you want to maintain in your project, real-time project also, this kind of approach is better, more. Okay, so registration data. Okay, so here we might need to create getters and setters. Okay, so for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste rather than cut paste. The test case 1, we have created data. Okay, this is fine, but it's not recommended to do like this, because you in each test case you have to create test data. That's not really recommended. So I'm going to copy this. We can do one thing. Probably in each test case you can actually create like this and put your own data. So this is where your each test case needs different sets of data, right? So we will keep it here. However, if you want to create a general globalized data class, we'll put everything over here. So okay, so I want to fetch this data. Okay, basically you have to get rid of this, because this is particular to particular test case. So you just get rid of this, and once you finish this, right click on it, so there is an option called generate getters and setters. So this is required for if you want to get some value from some function. So getter will be used, And if you want to set it, if you want to set it, pass some value, so setter will be. So instead of generating this manually, Eclipse provides one feature called generate getters and setters, so we can directly use this. Not here, not here. Let me see. Okay, so for different kinds of data, we have created the different classes. So normally the declarations goes here, not the assignments. So you are not assigning any specific value here. Alright. Okay, so what I was talking about is create getter, get test date of birth. So if you want to get date of birth, you can directly call this. So this is more or like automatic functions. Then once getters are created, only if you might not need to call everything, but these are like everything. So if for example in future if you want to set some value to some function, then you can directly call this. So here what we are trying to do is we are using the this, because this refers to the current object. So obviously it will point to the date of birth, so it will point to this date of birth. So whatever date of birth is assigned to this one, that will be assigned here for set. So if you look at this, get will return something, return string type mostly. So you need to return for get, and for set you have to pass the argument of that particular class type, whatever it is. So basically it doesn't return anything. Set is to set something, so you are setting something by passing. Okay, so if I go here into demo AUT, okay, so we might need to use the private access modifier. Okay, so this must be global, right? So instead of creating it inside this function, we'll put it here. Okay, now let's see, right click. Okay, so now it's giving me options. So the getters and setters are based on the variables. All right, so you can select what getters and setters
But
you want to show only.
but you
But
have
I
made it
don't want to
private,
use, so
then
I
we
will
can
just
use it in
select
this
all.
class only, right? We cannot use it in
If you
other
don't want to use, that's a later thing.
other
But just
classes.
generate getters and setters for all variables. So just click on OK. But you have made it private,
Hmm.
then we can use it in this class only, right? We cannot use it in other classes. No, that this is the declarations are here. We are going to remove this declaration. The variable is private, but since we are going
Hmm.
to use the getters and setters, the getter setter
Hmm.
functions are public. So these, the private, we are making these variables private because we want to
Hmm.
maintain only one
Yes.
instance of these variables, not the
Hmm.
multiple instance, just the way we use setup, right? So we want it to be private to this. However, since you are using this, it refers to the current one, this variable, this dot first name means it is referring to this first name. So the private is doesn't matter for, since you are using within the same class, this is
But
fine. However,
one instance,
if
if we
if
want to create, then we need to use
accessing these
static
variables,
keyword, right?
what I'm going to do is I'm going to access the getters and setters whose type is public. So obviously I can use this anywhere within the class. That is the intention. But one instance, if we want to create, then we need to use static keyword, right? Let us see the
Because we
setup.
want to create only one instance.
Let's go to setup. Uh, okay, so here static we have used. What is the definition of static? Why we are using static here?
Yeah.
Because we want to create only one instance. One instance, okay.
Okay.
So here also you want to create, you want to be it to be only one instance. However, static is it's not mandatory here. You can use it or you don't have to use it. That's fine. Where is the register data here? Okay, here the reason is there is no need for static here, because
Hmm.
the reason why we have static in the why we have used static for WebDriver, because we don't want the WebDriver to be created multiple WebDrivers, so that it won't launch multiple browsers. So I only want it to be one time created, one time driver, use it many times. So basically what I'm trying to do is, in the setup I have created, it is private and static. That means I don't want it to be multiple. So static, I don't, it's like almost like constant. Then the get driver function is public, so I can call it. Okay, so when I call it in, for example, say flight finder, here I am simply instantiating the setup class and calling this get driver to s through s, right? So what's going on here? Simply it will call. If I don't do this, if I create like driver is equal to new Firefox driver, it will create a Firefox driver here, and when the test case one calls to another class, again it will create another Firefox driver. That will be two Firefox drivers, and it will result in launching two browsers. Firefox driver means Firefox browser, simple. So however, in this case what it is doing, it is simply calling this get driver, and whatever driver which is it is returning, which has already been created here and created only once. That means only once, only one instance, and it is private to this. So private to this is fine, but the public, this is what matters, because it is able to be called in another classes. Okay, so if you are
Hmm.
still not clear, what I would suggest is just uh, there are some example about static
Hmm.
and real time examples in the Java documentation. If you go to oracle.com, right? So there is a wide variety of examples using Java. So that is for beginners, intermediate users, and advanced users. Just type static examples, you will find a lot of static. So instead of explaining theoretically, if you look at the examples and actually copy paste those examples
Hmm.
and run it in the your Eclipse, so that way you can easily get idea, okay, what is so basically to comprehend the idea of static is important instead of theoretically speaking. So you, once you practice it, whenever you find free time, it will give a good idea about static. Exactly. Even even the Java developers who are very advanced level, they might not understand what it basically. If you understand it very well, the intention is to use it whenever you want to use it. You should be able to use it, why you want to use it, and where you want to use it. So to understand this, you have to understand through the examples rather than there is many definitions. You can, definitions are something else, but if you actually go through examples and create your own example, use static, use without static, and try to call this and see what is happening, is are you able to call it, and make the static function, make the static variable, and see what is the difference. Are you able to call in another, make it private
Hmm.
static, make it public static. So try various permutations and combinations and see what is happening. So that way you can comprehend the idea of static, the you can learn the actual concept of static. So do that thing. So here what we are doing is, forget about this private static is not important. So did you get the idea of creating the getters and setters? Why we are creating? Because this will be more easier in maintenance later. It may be cumbersome right now, it may look cumbersome, but going forward it will be maintaining wise. If your test cases are growing here, hundreds of test cases are growing here, so then you don't want to put you don't want to create the test data in each test case. You want to create, this is definitely required. This is because you want to assign specific data, and further next stage is you want to fetch these data from your excel spreadsheet or somewhere else, from database or somewhere. So that is different, that is the next stage. And for that you are calling that you are using the get sheet method or get contents method, get cell method. You are fetching the values from the excel spreadsheet and assigning it over here. So that's the next stage. So basically we are coming, you are building this framework from the ground up. So that if you understand the basics, the base is important. If you understand the base, so you can easily understand that higher level. So if you don't understand this base level, right, so suddenly you will get the doubt after reaching the final part of framework. Oh, okay, why did we use this at this level? So that's we should not get that doubt later stage. So that's why I'm going step by step. Okay. Okay, so don't worry about this. Why we are creating getters and setters? Only when we actually use this, you will understand automatically. Okay. So we have created getters and setters right now. So keep it that way. Leave it. So when we are calling this later in our actual test case, we will see. So let me go to my project and see. So simply create getters and setters, and if you want you can create for initializations. What we will do is, you create a constructor. This is a constructor, right? What is the use of constructor? Basically in this constructor what I'm doing is I am simply assigning some initializing, you can say, simply assigning some value, initializing these variables here. So the advantage of this is, in the test case, when you instantiate this data class, first
It will be
what will be
allocated to
called,
some
when you
memory, right?
instantiate, when you create a object of a class, what will happen inside the JVM?
It will be allocated to some memory, right?
Correct. Okay, so it will allocate memory. Then after that what will happen is, first thing that will be accessed or executed is the constructor. Where is it? Okay, that's here. Yeah, here. So what, this will be accessed when, as soon as you create an instance of a class, this will be accessed, this will be executed internally. So whatever you put here will be executed. So ideally what developers will do is, they will create a constructor, and whatever variables need to be initialized, they will do it inside this constructor, so that when you call this function, call this data in your test case, and if you don't remember or forget to do this part, still it will work, because these variables are already initialized, and all you have to do is you just call these getters and setters here, and getters and setters, what it will do, what is the actual advantage of using getters and setters here? Getters and setters are returning this, getter is returning this date of birth. What date of birth it is returning? It is returning this actual value of date of birth here, if you do not put any values in the test case. And what is the set value is doing? It is simply setting this value. What value is setting? It is, there is no value here, but it will, since this will be called when you instantiate, it will set this value. So that means that, okay, don't worry about it, it's going little complex, but I'll explain again later if the need be. However, if you assign these values, or if you fetch the values from the Excel spreadsheet, what it will do is it will override, these values will override the constructor values. So still you don't have to worry. If you don't do this, constructor values will be get and set. If you do this, these values will be get and set. So that's the reason why we are using this dot. So it refers to the current constructor.
Yeah.
Okay, let me close all of these. It's enter my system. Okay,
Okay.
Apache, I think it's today. It's
Yeah.
I mean it's going bouncer, right? So
Okay.
do you want me to stop, because it's already, I am also tired right now. So let us continue tomorrow
Yeah.
instead of the continuing today.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Don't worry about this tomorrow. I don't want to say it tomorrow because this is just theoretical
Okay. Bye.
understanding today. So we will see, when we see practically, you will be able to understand in a better manner. So okay then. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.